Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Kevin here coming at you. Alright, this is an engine that I had picked up off of a bike. I showed you guys the bike. This was already mounted onto it. And it had a bad transmission. So I wrote on a bad trans. Basically, when you go to kick it over, you can't even, it's like it's seized up. It won't even go. And when it does go, the starter stays down. Very, very tight. So something is wrong with this, and I have no idea why. So not something I typically come across. So I figured I'd do a part one, and we'll do a tear down. I'm gonna see if it's something in the clutch area, or if it's something in the transmission, or what the case may be. Maybe it might be a bad bearing, maybe something broke inside. We don't even know. But as far as I know, is the transmission, no matter what gear you're in, is connected to the crank area. So my guess is something in the clutch area. That would be my guess, because the clutch is really the only thing that keeps it connected from the engine to the transmission. So we're gonna tear this thing down. I started on it last time. Like, I cracked all the bolts loose and everything else. So the special tool for tonight is an old, you can get this at any hardware store. This is for a top post battery removal tool for your battery terminals. These are typically what I use if I have a stuck Kickstarter. It doesn't work all the time, but it works a majority of the time. On pulling off the starters. Pretty neat that I'm able to show you guys a tool that is designed to pull a top post battery off, and you can use it to remove your starter without hurting your starter. You gotta reset it because you can't have it all the way in because of the grooves, or in this case the spline. Okay, I'm kind of stuck right now. I moved it back pretty far, as you can see. Sometimes they just so worn. I'm just going to expand a little bit more. It's got like a burr on there. Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Then what I use a gentle brush, little brush. There's no debris on there. Okay. This here was already loosened. Get a screwdriver. Like I said, I cracked everything loose before because I was going to pull it apart and I just didn't have time. So now I have a little bit of time to mess around with this thing and see what's going on. Note that there's copper washers on here, and that the short one goes on the thinner side, and the taller screw goes on the fat side of the pump. I don't care about gaskets right now. I have to buy gaskets anyway. Don't lose your grommet. Okay, got that part done. And all these, I already drained it of oil a while back. I really don't care the order of these screws, because I don't know if you remember in my clutch video, I have a blue folder and it has the length of screws and where they go. So, but typically what you would do is you would take a gasket, you would draw it out and put it in there. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. What I have for doing clutches, I keep all my stuff in all my clutch information. Okay, I made a template right here, as you can see, with the right size bolts, and you should be doing the same when you're doing these. And then you just take your bolt out. I took it out of here, I stick it in the matching one, and then I'll be able to put this back together. No problems. No questions asked. So I'm planning on doing the same thing. This way we know exactly where they go. And we don't have to think. See, that's the beauty of this. You don't have to think. You don't have to take it apart. And you can do this with anything you take apart. I always stress, use your resources. Okay, you always use your resources. Can't stress that enough. And what do I mean by resources? Well, when you're taking something apart, before you take it apart, you got a cell phone. Take a camera picture of it, of what you're working on. And you'll be able to do that, you know. And if you're working on something like a motor, where you're going to take out a lot of different size screws out and stuff, go order yourself a pizza, enjoy your pizza, take the box, draw a picture of it, and make a template. Can't go wrong with pizza when you're working on a motor, you know. It's kind of like the thing to do. Okay. Go. I can expand. I'm working on the bolts all the way down bottom are all the same length. There is a gasket in there. I'm going to have to order the gaskets. I'm not doing that right now. I just want to see if I can find, because I don't know if this motor is any good. It might even be a blown engine. I don't know. Okay. All the bottom bolts are out. Everything's out up top. And then, voila. Here's what I end up with. Let me shrink you back down. I end up with the schematic of the cover, front, and it shows you the length of the screws, all the different ones, and then where they go. So that's how I did that. That's on my clutch video as well. So now I don't have to worry about that. Okay. The next thing is pulling this apart. There is a gasket in there, but we don't want to really damage it. So if you take a hammer, take the handle part, use that a little bit. Gentle taps. Don't beat on it because you don't want to peen it over. Okay. There's a dowel pin on the back. Just want to expose it a little bit. Gently pry. Gently. Here's some stuff fall. I don't know if this is going to be an easy fix or a nightmare. Like that. Okay. Alright. Now we got the cover. Clutch piece fell on the bottom. Here is the gear for the pump. There's a little key on that, so you gotta make sure your key is in your pump, because if you don't, it'll spin and won't turn the pump. And this gear is absolutely hammered. This gear's got teeth missing right on the sides. Something's going on with this. Okay, so we gotta find out what is going on. So here's the clutch right here and the motor. Alright, from what I can feel by turning over, I could turn the motor over without turning this. So we're gonna remove this clutch and take a peek and see what we can see. See if there's anything in the motor there. Starter looks alright. That's right up against the engine. Something's not right. That thing is locked up tight. Alright, so we're going to remove the clutch and see if it allows us to turn it. Because right now we can't even turn it. I don't know if it's in the crank area or in the transmission area. Where the starter was hard to turn and it wouldn't recoil back, I'm going to say it was in the transmission. But without having 100% positive proof, I don't really know. Okay, so let's get a small ratchet or something on that. There we go. Soft to the side. One of the hints I got was the teeth all stripped out on that gear. This clutch is on there way too tight. Okay, so someone put a clutch in this. These bolts should not even be close to that tightness. Okay. Alright. This is the impact driver. I always loosen the bolts up. You could use it with sockets too, but it comes with a nice socket driver. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with this, so I figured I'd just take it apart, see if I mean, the motor ran great, and then all of a sudden, it stayed in gear all the time. So I figured, I'm not really doing much tonight, so I figured I'd take it apart and see if I can see what I can see that I'm seeing. But man, Okay, clutch plate's off, pressure plate. 6 springs. We're gonna take that clip off the middle. To remove the clip, I use a pair of these. See it on the box, I got the 2 little pins on there. It's made by Astro Tools. There's the part number right there, 94014. You can order these right here. This one came in a kit, but you could buy them individually. And for taking off the snap ring. I don't know if you can see that snap ring. The clutch. There's also a washer in back of it. Okay. Well, the clutch seems to be moving all right. Not really much going on with the clutch. Take the drum off. All right, now the drum is off. Now let's see if we can move the crankshaft freely. Yep. Can't move that at all. So there's a bearing or something stuck in this transmission. Oh, yep, that bearing right there is gone. Let's take a peek. I can find my flashlight. Take a sip of my drink first. Flashlight. Alright, here's the but yeah, well, yeah, I think it's tighter than you know what. Alright. So that's why when you went to kick it, it was really hard. You get the spring in this. Which holds that in place. Got the shaft right here for that turning. Huh. Yep, that keeps that in alignment right there. I don't see where that gear would be rubbing, but you know it has been. So realistically, this would be inside here like this, meshed into a gear, which is actually getting chewed up. So something is offset, and I can't really move this shaft all too well. So something happened. Oh yeah. One of the bearings are junk on the transmission end of this. So this case is actually junk. There's actually a bearing or something in that realm that won't allow it to come through. So tomorrow night we'll take apart the case, pull the crank out because it's a good crank, and then we'll see if we can figure out a bearing problem with it. And then I'm going to show you guys, because there was one gentleman who asked about how do you put the case together. So you know what? I'm going to do a video on that. This will be a perfect thing to do it on, and why not, right? So I'm going to do one on the case tomorrow night. Tonight, we found the problem. It's in this shaft right here. So I can turn the other shaft a little bit, you know, it goes back and forth. This one you can't even move. So it's one of the bearings. So I narrowed it down to a bad bearing, bad roller bearing. We'll see if we can either fix it or move on from it. But either way, we'll tear it apart and take a look. And I'll show you guys how to tear that down. So, man, I'm telling you, there's so much stuff with these bikes, with these motors. It's absolutely crazy. Stuff you wouldn't even think of, you know. It's got a good starter shaft in it. It's got a lot of good stuff. I mean, I could tear the motor down, but if I can fix it, yeah, I might want to fix it. So, because good engines are hard to find, right? And this one's a fairly new one. This one's a 96, and I can't believe it's seized up like that. That shaft. I can turn the engine. I just can't turn the crank. Not the crank, the transmission part of it. So, that's what I have for tonight. And remember, make your schematics, use your phones, take pictures. And if you have any questions or comments, by all means, please send them my way. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.